Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
You would think 40 minutes into the show I'd have my microphone set up right, but I don't know what I'm doing here today. 6:08, Tuesday, June 7th, 72 degrees, got up to 84 today. WOBM AM 1160 at 1310. News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are now joined in studio by Jeff Ryan. He is the principal at Cedar Grove Elementary School, an elementary school near and dear to my heart. So good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I am fantastic. So I was telling you before, Cedar Grove was Zach and I agree we can't call it an alma mater because although that's probably the last school I graduated from. Big fan of Cedar Grove. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about the school?
Well, I can tell you the history of the school. It was built in 1971. It's a great school. It's been a great community for me to be involved in for quite some time. The kids are outstanding there. We have very supportive teachers, and the parents. Teachers are so hardworking, never give up on any of the students at Cedar Grove. We just love going to work every day there.
Right. So if you were to objectively look at the elementary schools in the district, where do you think your school rates as far as, the best to the worst?
We got to be the best. We got to be the best.
I mean, the teachers are the best, right? I mean,
absolutely, yes.
Yeah, that's the right thing to say. I figured you were going to go down that road. So how long have you been there, Jeff?
I went to Cedar Grove in 1999 as an assistant principal. I was there for 3 years, and then 2002 I became a principal. So I'm essentially an old man right now.
Well, you've been the principal there since 2002?
Yes.
I'm not a great mathematician or anything, but that sounds like 14 years to me.
Yes. It's hard to believe when I say that out loud, yes.
Really? So 1999 assistant, you were the assistant principal. So tell me, what's the big difference between assistant principal and principal? Like how does the job change?
Well, essentially the principal, everything is your responsibility. When things are going well, you get thanks for it. When things aren't going well, right. It becomes essentially your problem.
Whereas the assistant principal gets to kind of throw you under the bus. Is that how that works?
Well, if they can't solve a problem, it ends up on your desk, yes.
See, I remember, and this is just maybe one child's opinion, one child who had maybe too much experience in this area. I remember when I went to Cedar Grove with Mr. Grosso and Mrs. Muller. Mrs. Muller was the assistant principal, and she was the disciplinarian.
Wow.
Like they had the good cop, bad cop thing down pretty well. Mr. Grosso was the really nice guy that everybody really, really liked, and she was the hammer. Now, do you have that? Like, is there a good cop, bad cop thing, or no?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's always been good cop, bad cop, and those roles change too in different situations.
See, this never changed.
Yeah.
No, but you guys are more free flowing like that.
Yes.
Okay. So prior to 1999, what were you doing?
I was a 8th grade history geography teacher, Intermediate East.
Okay.
That was a great time over there, too. I made some great friends, great teachers that really helped me start my career over there. It was definitely a good experience. Big difference between an intermediate student and an elementary student, too, though.
Yes. Yeah, although, well, let's see. So how long were you teaching 8th grade history and geography?
Let's see, 8 years I was there.
So at some point, did it change from 6th, 7th, and 8th in middle, from 7th and 8th in middle school to 6th, 7th, and 8th?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what year that was. I was at Cedar Grove already because I had an assistant principal underneath me. And then that 1 year, our 5th grade left us and our 6th grade left us, and so did the assistant principal. Because
I think there's a huge difference. I have my personally own a 6th grader, a 7th grader, and a 9th grader.
Oh, boy.
And I look at the difference between a 6th grader and an 8th grader, and that seems like light years different to me.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah. So, but you like working with the younger kids?
Yes, they're a lot of fun. They're excited to come to school every day. I actually have to stop them from running off the bus. They're so excited to get into school. Yes.
Really? Okay. So what? So when you were growing up, when you were a kid, did you always want to get into education, or how did that happen?
back and forth with that. Actually, both my parents were educators,
Okay.
so growing up in a house with two educators, I don't want to say I was forced in that direction. I'm one of three. My sister's in education, but my brother isn't. So obviously there was choices in life, but you could see that being an educator in our family, it brought a lot of happiness to both my parents, so it seemed a logical field to get into.
Right. And so you always kind of wanted to, but did you know you always wanted to get into administration, or did you think you wanted to be a teacher forever?
Well, I enjoyed being a teacher and a coach. My father was an administrator, so at one point it was his idea, maybe you should go back and get your degree in case you want it at some point. And I was very fortunate. I became an administrator at a young age.
Right.
I called the youth movement of Toms River Schools back then.
Right. Okay. So this was all you don't want to say predestined, predetermined, but you kind of had it on. You had kind of an inkling that this is the way it was going to go for you.
Yes, I had a great role model in my father, and he was principal at High School North. He loved that school. It was really a big part of his life, and I saw what joy and happiness it brought to him, and he still has such a connection to former students at North.
Right. Now, have you seen like the demographics change over the years? I mean, has anything kind of changed for you, or has it been pretty consistent at Cedar Grove? I know that look, when we look at towns, for example, and I look at how the schools kind of broke out when I was a kid, it's different than how the schools kind of break out now.
Yeah, I would say Cedar Grove's pretty similar, the population. I grew up in Silverton, but I moved out of there in probably 91, 92, so
Right.
I don't know about that community. But Cedar Grove, it's been consistent there.
Yeah, it really has. It seems like Cedar Grove is kind of right in the middle of Toms River, right?
Right.
But kind of, it just seems like that's been an area that's a very mature area that has that has kept a lot of its personality for years and years and years and years. So it's certainly a great spot. So okay, so tell me, give me to start. What's like the one program that if you were to hang your hat on and say, listen, this is the program that I would put in a time capsule and ship off to Mars to show the Martians what's so great about Cedar Grove Elementary School. What's the one that you would do?
Wow, there's a couple things. Right now going on is this, we have an AIE Hero program. It's a relationship that we established with one of our parents, Jillian Messina. And really it rolled out a couple years ago with just the girls being involved in this program, really about self-confidence, self-esteem. And the past couple of years, the boys keep coming to me saying, when's our program? When are we going to have our
Right.
private club? So, again, with the help of her and then Chief Little, they developed the Hero program, which talks about same concepts, a lot about respect, and we've been able to roll that out this year. And I really think that's been a success for us.
Right. And so that's a so I think that there's a perception out there, and maybe I'm misspeaking, but I don't think I am, that with Common Core, with park testing, with the involvement of the Department of Education, that schools have lost their ability to innovate and to be creative in their programming. But I guess I hear from you that that's not necessarily the case.
No, not the case at all. I mean, there's still plenty of time, obviously, to have the fun and to learn at the same time. One of the things coming up we're very excited about was the Grunin grant we received. We're starting to assemble our team of teachers and students to really help us roll that out, where the kids will be able to really design and be creative with some of the different, I keep calling them toys that we're going to have, but it ranges everything from Legos all the way up to types of robots.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so that's part of like a STEM type classroom, or what
Correct.
are you doing?
We built that around the STEM movement, the Genius Hour, really where the kids get to the time, the space, and really the objects to create these things that they've probably never had the chance to work with before.
Right. And will all kids have an opportunity to partake in that, or is that just for a select group?
No, that'll be everybody K through 5. We're trying to design some lessons that would really cater to them in the beginning, but eventually be able to roll it out where you actually can sit down and create your own different objects.
All right, cool. Jeff Ryan, Cedar Grove Elementary principal. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the other cool programs that he's got going over at Cedar Grove. And again, this is listen. I'm not trying to. I have a special place in my heart now for Washington Street because I have 2 kids that went there. But Cedar Grove will always be first. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Back after this.
Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin wherever you go. Download the Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We're here with Jeff Ryan, Cedar Grove Elementary School principal. And Jeff also was just telling me he is a resident of downtown Toms River. So we won't get in too much into that today about the reimagination of downtown Toms River. But let's see, I'm looking here. Why don't you tell me, you kind of touched on it for a second, but tell me how you leverage, for lack of a better term, the PTO, or how do you work together with them? What's their impact on a school?
Our PTO is great. I just actually sent out a email blast to all of our parents last week because sometimes I don't know if parents and even the students recognize how much they do for the students of Cedar Grove and even the staff. A lot of people think it's just fundraising, but really the fundraising is a mechanism to provide all these different extras for our students, whether it be assemblies. We just had a game show assembly for the whole school yesterday. Different gifts. They give every 5th grader a T-shirt, a yearbook, give all the incoming kindergartners T-shirts, welcome them to Cedar Grove. Different programs throughout the year. They're just a great group of people. It seems that through the years, as people get busier and busier, our PTO sometimes struggles to get more and more people involved. But I think that's the sense of the way it is right now. People are very busy in their lives, but yet we don't ask for a lot of time in devoting to the PTO. They only have a couple meetings a year. And really, we just help organize a couple different fundraising activities to provide these different events for the students there at Cedar Grove.
So it's funny you mention that because the one that caught my eye, because we have inside sources that were able to gather this particular email blast. We didn't have to Oprah it or anything; it just kind of came to us. But the bullet point that caught my eye, which was fantastic, was one of the things the PTO did was sponsored ice cream parties for classes with the highest parent attendance at each of the PTO meetings. Can you explain that to me?
Yes. So it's become a competition. I think one of our teachers, I really think she's the regular winner of it. I don't know if she actually bribes the parents to come, but it is when the parents come, they're asked to sign in, and they always write who their child's teacher is, and then the PTO tallies up, who wins, and usually we make an announcement, so-and-so's class won the ice cream party, and the kids love that.
Right. I'm just looking at it, and I'm saying that is, I don't even know if whoever came up with that realizes how impactful that is on so many different levels. Because to me, it's not only now you have kids that are like wanting their parents to go to PTO meetings, but it's teaching kids how to volunteer.
Correct.
By watching their parents volunteer and by wanting their parents to volunteer. Not to mention the fact the best way to get a parent to do anything is to offer their kids ice cream or something right. to pester your parent into doing that. But that is a fantastic program.
Right. And then right now, the kids love it as the weather gets warmer to enjoy the ice cream. It's a little harder sell in the wintertime, but right now it's good.
Yeah, but that is super cool. So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on. So what other things do we have going on at Cedar Grove that would be a little different or out of the box that you wanted to kind of fill us in on?
We just did it was probably 2 weeks ago, we did a Project Expo, and we've been doing that for many years at Cedar Grove, but really there's never been a theme before. It's just kind of been an open expo. Any projects you're working on in your classroom, you put on tables in our gymnasium. Parents come, walk through. This year we did a little differently. We centered it around the STEAM and Makerspace and Genius Hour movement and really developed it like a driving question, an open-ended question where it really set the stage for creating interest and curiosity with the students. So they were able to look at different. Essentially, it's an open-ended question, things that maybe intrigue them that they would want to learn a little bit more about. And it was the best attended project fair we've had in quite some time there. Parents raved about it. And the teachers and students really enjoyed putting it together also.
Right. That's pretty cool. Okay, so when we get back, right, I want to talk about some other cool programs. By the way, you mentioned STEAM, so we're going to talk about that when we get back because I don't hear a lot of educators saying STEAM. I hear a lot of STEM. I don't hear a lot of STEAM. So we'll talk about that when we get back. We're going to give you your magic wand and see what you're going to do and what else is going on at Cedar Grove Elementary School. Jeff Ryan, principal, Cedar Grove Elementary here in Toms River. Back after this.
Coming up next, the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 6:34, Tuesday, June 7th, 72 degrees, got up to 84 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio, streaming live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com, 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are joined by Jeff Ryan. He is the principal of Cedar Grove Elementary School here in Toms River, New Jersey. So, Jeff, we were talking at the break. First of all, STEAM. What is STEAM? I know what STEM is. What's STEAM?
See, STEAM, that's kind of the new term everybody's throwing around. Right. So now you're incorporating the arts into the science, the technology, and the math. You can't leave the arts out. That's very important.
Love it. All right. Well, that was a loaded question because, of course, I knew what STEAM was, but I wanted to make sure because we say it all the time, and I think people sometimes regurgitate it back to us because we like to hear it. But that's okay. I'm all right with that. So why don't you tell us, we're at the end of the year, right? So what do you do to acknowledge the fifth graders? What do you do that's special to make them feel like they've just won the national championship over the last 6 years?
Sometimes it's difficult. A lot of people feel that there should maybe be a graduation ceremony for them, but they're really not graduating. They're moving on to a different level. So we've incorporated a couple different ideas. It starts next week. We have a leadership luncheon where we invite all the fifth grade down. Our PTO supplies pizza for all the students and drinks. And really, we acknowledge some special awards. We have some academic awards for students who really have high academic levels. We also developed a citizenship award for students that really set a good example for not only their classmates but the entire school. And then there's also other special recognition. We have several fifth graders that give up their lunch period to go and work with some of our special ed classes, socialize with them, play games with them, play out on the playground. So we acknowledge them also. And then a couple days after that, they have their big fifth grade barbecue, which really is a big day for the kids. They're allowed to invite their parents to that day.
Right.
PTO supplies, a lot of the food. They also have inflatables, a dunk tank. It's a big day for everybody.
Right. How do you decide which kids make the burgers and the hot dogs?
Actually, it was a group of fathers that used to volunteer to do that. I think they cut it out this year. I think they're bringing in a whole truck where kids get hot dog, hamburger, ice cream, and everything. But you gotta love that smell of that grill cooking up on. I'm
telling you, it was at the YMCA golf outing yesterday. That 18th hole, those hot dogs never smelled better than what the Ocean County Vocational and Technical School were cooking up. Okay, so end of year is upon us. Another successful year, I imagine, and ready to go to another one. So, Jeff, this is all. We like to say that the interview process, what we do here over the first 30 minutes or so, is really just a prelude to what the big finish is for us. And that is we're handing you the magic wand, right? The magic pixie dust, the fairy dust, the ability to wave your scepter and make an impact on the world or change something for the better, we hope. So, Jeff, what are you going to do with it?
Wow. I would like to duplicate the year we just had at Cedar Grove. It was such a success. I really enjoyed watching the students grow this year. It's amazing when you really look back what they come in like in September and they leave you in June. And really that's a credit to the teachers, the hard work, the perseverance. There's always going to be setbacks, but at Cedar Grove, they always rise to the occasion for the better of the students there.
Right. Look at you. You went with so we gave you the magic wand. You have the ability to do anything in the world. And you said, God, if I could just duplicate
the year,
that would be fantastic.
Yes.
It must. Are you close? Do you guys get reviewed annually? Is that how that works?
Yeah, we have a mid-year review and an end-of-the-year review.
So the end-of-year review is coming up.
Yes.
Huh?
So this is perfect for me.
So this is good. So you're just going to put this tape right there, and when you go up to Healy, you're just going to be like, hey, listen, so look, all I want is to duplicate this again next year. So clearly we did a great job this year. Right. I understand. It's all part of an end game. Very calculating. Well thought out on your part. So anything else that we should know about Cedar Grove that you wanted to any other great programs, any other things happening, anybody else you wanted to acknowledge before we let you go today?
I just really acknowledge the staff again to really thank them. My supervisor, Stacy Minetti, just a tireless group of educators at Cedar Grove, and I appreciate all the work they do, and I appreciate the support of our parents, in particular the PTO. That's
awesome. Well, listen, Jeff, it's clear to me why you've been doing this for the last 37 years at Cedar Grove Elementary School, because you certainly have you have the right temperament for it. I could tell that right off the bat, right? Very even keeled. We're not losing. You're not losing it over the little things. And certainly running a good ship over at Cedar Grove, and I can now sign off on the fact that I feel good that you are running the ship that I used to sail on so many years ago. So,
thank you, I appreciate that.
So awesome, Jeff. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Thank you so much for doing the work that you do, which is with our children and our youth, which is to me the most important job that can be done in any community is our education system, and doing a great job there. So thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you again.
All right, Jeff Ryan, principal, Cedar Grove Elementary School, just wants to duplicate this year again next year. Did you hear that, David Healy? If you're listening, great job at Cedar Grove. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin back after this.